For several weeks, Monday nights had been the only thing keeping Lance's bar in business. In an era when more people than ever did their drinking at home now that they could fully immerse themselves in whatever kind of augmented reality they so pleased, the pre-existing contractual restrictions on live sports broadcasting were a godsend for Lance. This Monday night, like every other, brought out the usual dozen or so football-watching regulars. These football fans were the largest loose group in the bar, outnumbering by almost 2-to-1 the real regulars who spent more of their waking hours at Lance's than they did at home. The members of this second group had all been relatively late adopters of Sycamore's world-changing technologies. But the ultra lenses and seed had become so necessary so quickly that even these grizzled old relics, some of whom had never previously owned so much as a smartphone, were now firmly on board. Though boosted by world-class marketing and shady behind-the-curtain dealings, Sycamore's unprecedented levels of market penetration rested upon a combination of brilliant launch-day software and surprisingly unobtrusive hardware. Just months earlier, the idea of wearing contact lenses all day and walking around with a microchip implanted in their palms would have sounded as appealing to Lance's regulars as a 5-day juice cleanse. Now, though, they all appreciated that the ultra lenses were literally incomparable to off-the-shelf contacts, and that the seed was small enough to be forgotten about within minutes of the injection. In an attempt to swell his customer base beyond these two groups of variably committed regulars, and to prepare for life after the football season, Lance had recently moved way outside his comfort zone and applied for an REV license from Sycamore. By cementing the bar as a registered entertainment venue, this successful application unlocked a myriad of crowd-pleasing gimmicks. Even under the 4-year lease option, however, Lance could only afford one of them. Knowing that the bar would be out of business within 4 years if he didn't try something, he shook off his fears and went for it. Before signing the 4-year lease to bring RealU Freedom to his bar, Lance didn't even know what the hell RealU was. As a man of his age and social standing, Sycamore hadn't identified him as a likely user, and so hadn't delivered any ads about the service's launch. When Lance read about RealU, an app which blurred the line between augmented and virtual reality by allowing consumers to modify their real-world appearance like characters in a video game, he was astounded by the figures Sycamore provided. 89% of 18 to 24-year-olds had already used the service, with 52% having paid for one or more premium modifications. Lance signed the lease on the spot. RealU Freedom offered consumers a unique opportunity. When inside a registered entertainment venue with the appropriate lease, they could experience everything RealU had to offer, from a change of shoe color to a full-scale makeover, completely free of charge. All modifications would wear off when the consumer left the venue, of course, but they would be visible to everyone else inside for the duration of their visit. After just 3 days, RealU Freedom was already proving an effective selling point for Lance's bar. Rather than the whole bar, Lance made the atypical decision to establish one corner as the so-called Freedom Zone. He did this for one simple reason: so he could charge an entry fee. To get around the pesky terms and conditions of his Sycamore lease, which outright forbade such a charge, Lance cordoned off the Freedom Zone and enacted a 4-drink minimum for anyone who wished to sit at one of its 2 tables. The location-based technology behind RealU Freedom was a natural progression from the kind of micro-location geofencing that countless retailers had used to analyze customer behavior in the pre-Sycamore days. Because it was all so straightforward, Lance could extend or move the boundaries of the zone with just a few clicks. RealU Freedom worked for Lance by bringing in a different crowd, and it worked for Sycamore by acting as something of a gateway drug for consumers who would leave the Freedom Zone with a taste for RealU and a newfound determination to save up for imperfection-killing modifications, which would work as well in the real world as they did in the zone. Consumers tended to gravitate towards novelty modifications when they first experienced free reign in RealU, with accessories like devil horns and vampire fangs particularly popular. But before long, almost everyone ended up navigating the more insidious corrections menu. Nose too big? Hair too gray? Teeth too yellow? Have no fear, the tagline said. Perfection is just one click away.